This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a daily wrestling news update for you. Before I get into the news, Marty Jannetty is supposed to be doing an interview with me tomorrow around 4 p.m. Eastern. I was talking to him today. He says that he's friends with, well, everyone knows he's good friends with Pat Tanaka, but Pat Tanaka apparently has been missing. He hasn't been responding for the past couple of days. So let's all keep Pat Tanaka, who I've never met him, but if you ask anyone, most people will say he's a good guy, other than Sonny. Sonny didn't like him, so there's a sign that he's probably a good guy. But he hasn't been answering his messages, which I guess is unusual, according to Marty. So uh, as of now, the interview is still on tomorrow. By the way, we are in the credits of the John Candy movie. A fan of ours from Ireland sent this to me. Thank you very much. I was a big John Candy fan, so it's nice to see Hannibal TV in the credits. They used an interview clip from my interview with Zeus. So that's one of my favorite interviews. Zeus is one of my favorite wrestlers. Say what you want, he was a real believable heel. You wouldn't want to mess with that guy. But in real life, he was one of the nicest wrestlers I've interviewed. And by the way, some people want to give me heat because I've said, well, in my personal recent dealings with Mark Kerr, I felt like he was getting a bit of an ego, big timing me, so to speak. I talked to about it with another one of my friends that's involved in MMA and also knew him. And that guy said the same thing. So for the people saying, well, we've seen him appearing with The Rock, and he seems very humble when appearing on television with The Rock. That's not really how you can judge a guy in his personal dealings. I can tell you that when I first met him 4 or 5 years ago, he was very humble, and he might have been humbled now with how the movie's doing. Mort Goldberg was the only one in his theater last night. He took some pictures for me. There's DJ there. He likes to be called DJ now, by the way. Empty theater. Chris Jericho's big wrestling cruise, giving him a plug here. It's coming up in 2026. Not a single AEW wrestler mentioned. Saraya, who's no longer with AEW, the Great Muta, WWE Hall of Famer. Jeff Hardy with WWE affiliated TNA. I mean, there's a very good sign that his relationship with AEW, where they haven't used him in like 9 months, despite paying him six. What kind of? First of all, I mean, I actually like Jericho in WCW. I got no issues with him. Billy Graham and him had something going for a while where I was a bit offended, but I got no issues with Jericho overall. I don't know how he feels about me, but I've seen some things where I question, but in reality I don't have a problem with him, and I actually, as a guy that respects Jericho's ability as a draw and as a talent and as a mind for the wrestling business, I find that insulting that, oh, we're going to keep you under contract but not use you for anything for months and months and months and months and months. I know the money must be nice, but at some point in time it's a bit of a slap in the face. I mean, even Britt Baker, I do think Britt Baker is more known and more over than a lot of these AEW girl wrestlers. She'd be in like the top 15% of over AEW female wrestlers. And they haven't used her since she had a little backstage issue with MJF's wife, which I do like MJF's wife and my dealings with her, but I just find that so petty that they'll take a girl out of there because of like high schoolish type issues. It's so bizarre. But anyways, yeah. Thanks Mort for showing me that old DJ's film is bombing. In other wrestling news, Raw from October 6th. Again, now we get the views from Raw a week later from Netflix because they calculate them over a week. Only 2.4 million global views of Raw for the October 6th episode, which was a little better than the previous week, but that's not great. AEW is trying to get Bam Margera to do something with Darby Allin. There's something that, well, here's what's going to be interesting is AEW, they did their lowest rating ever for Dynamite last week, 0.07 for Dynamite. Is bringing in Bam Margera or Bam Margera, whatever you want to call it. Jackass, which how long has Jackass been off the air for? Is bringing in guys. How about you get people over that you have under contract or use guys like Jericho? Jericho coming back, who you already have under contract, is going to get you more viewers than Bam Margera. It's just mind-boggling. Apparently, Seth Rollins, WWE appears to be, and it's not working. We're looking at the viewership. By the way, Crown Jewel this weekend only had 115,000 Google searches. Usually for a WWE pay-per-view, it's usually around 250 for your average WWE pay-per-view. People did not care. And again, this is part of John Cena's retirement tour. Nobody cared about Crown Jewel, and they keep pushing Seth Rollins, who he's always been a good worker, but he's no Roman Reigns, he's no John Cena, he's no Brock Lesnar, he's no The Rock, because cool people don't find him cool. It's just a fact. He's a geek. He's a good heel. He's a good guy to have on your roster, reliable, but he's not going to be the next Hulk Hogan. And I guess Triple H likes him. They're giving him a prominent position, but 115,000 views for Crown Jewel. That's no good. And apparently there's another issue with Seth Rollins. He may have injured his shoulder in his match with Cody Rhodes, where he beat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. So he beat Cody Rhodes, so he is now the Crown Jewel champion, but I don't think he has Cody Rhodes' title. It's very confusing. He won a title off Cody Rhodes, but it wasn't the main title. But Cody Rhodes is also flat right now. But anyways, what I was saying about Seth Rollins, he may have a legitimate shoulder injury, but since they faked that he had another injury prior to SummerSlam only to bring him back, they're worried that fans are going to think this is another faked injury. So he's apparently seeing Dr. Andrews in Birmingham about it this week, and they're hoping he's not going to require surgery because they want him to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 42. Roman Reigns, who they just had job in Australia over the weekend. He's gone from being, let's face the facts here, Roman Reigns was more over than Cody Rhodes at his peak, and wrestling was more popular when before the whole Roman Reigns losing to Cody Rhodes. Once Cody Rhodes accomplished his dream, there hasn't been really anything that exciting. Most of the matches have been predictable. And John Cena's the best thing he did on the whole retirement tour was the thing with The Rock that they didn't follow up on. And now The Rock has said in an interview that he has some say in John Cena's final match. Honestly, the only thing that could really save this whole retirement tour is, and maybe help The Rock from this flop at the box office. Let's show it again. The empty movie theater last night, the Tuesday night where there's deals, or sorry, Monday. Today is the deal day. I was wrong there, but anyways, The Rock versus Cena for Cena's retirement. There'd be something that could save it. Here's my booking mind. John Cena can be like, "Hey, what happened when you turned on me?" They could still get something out of it. But or actually, John Cena, it's so confusing because John Cena didn't get turned on, did he? He was the heel. They turned on Cody Rhodes, but I'm sure they could do something there to have The Rock against Cena, and have The Rock beat Cena because you know The Rock would want to beat Cena. I would say that would be the best way to save Cena's last match because otherwise it's going to be against Gunther, who Cena is going to put over. And honestly, Gunther wrestled Goldberg on the last TV Saturday Night Main Event before now they're just putting it on Peacock because the ratings were so bad. So Gunther is not a ratings draw. I personally have zero interest in seeing Cena against Gunther. I think The Rock should use his booking power to give WWE a shot in the arm and make people interested in his career again and allow him to be the final opponent. The Rock wanted Cody's soul. That whole thing, though, look what happened. The rapper beat up Cody Rhodes, and nothing even happened with the rapper. The rapper stiffed Cody Rhodes. Just made Cody look like a pussy because he never got any revenge. Seth Rollins got attacked by that fat fan, and people thought it was Keith Lee. Yeah, actually, that fan was not even that big. He had some mental handicap, and he still took Seth down. And then Seth said in an interview, it frightened the hell out of him. He even put it over, and it's like this is a guy that like he's literally short, fat with a development. Maybe they do call it quote unquote re bleep 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 strength. Maybe it was that, but it was really bad. They needed security to rip this guy off of Seth. It really showed that he had no idea how to fight for real. Yeah, I agree, Fred. They keep pushing Seth, but it's like, yes, he wears outlandish outfits and stuff, and the crowd likes to sing his song, but I don't yeah, he's a good mid card guy to put on a decent wrestling match, but as a character, he's not like a Roddy Piper to me. He's not like a Kevin Nash. I mean, I was a fan of Kevin Nash's promos. I don't like Seth Rollins' promos. He just recites writers' words. I have zero interest in Seth Rollins. Have him disappear and come back for sure. Joe does not like The Rock. Someone says soon they will create better matches with AI. Travis Scott sucks. I think everyone hated Travis Scott, but they didn't even get a match with Travis Scott and Cody Rhodes. Scott just roughed him up, and then they used him at WrestleMania, right? And he came out, and everyone thought it was going to be The Rock with him, and then it was just Travis Scott. I don't know. I don't see business improving anytime soon. What they got to do is just keep pushing Brock. Brock's the best guy that they have, and try and create some better younger stars. Braun Breaker has potential. Keep using him right. They did make some mistakes when he first came in, having him job to Sami Zayn and stuff. They put some chinks in his armor, but I do see Braun Breaker as a future guy. He's legitimate. He has the lineage, former football player, real. I don't think Braun Breaker would have been taken down by that fat fan that the guy mentioned. Someone's trying to understand Oscar, and the language barrier kills it. That's why I think also AAA is never going to be that over because the language. First of all, there's way too much wrestling on TV as it is, but I can't get into Japanese wrestling or AAA. One of the reasons I can't get into it is just the language barrier. It doesn't interest me, and also the for AAA the overly choreographed spots too looks too phony for me in the no selling. But I don't want to complain. I mean, I'll keep my fingers crossed that I would pop. People think I'm anti WWE. No, if I would pop if it was The Rock against Cena. I would like to see that. For AEW, I hope they start doing some better stuff. But it's bizarre. I really don't understand their policies. I mean, someone just brought up Keith Lee. They haven't used Keith Lee in like 2 years. And Keith Lee has been public that he's been cleared to wrestle for like over a year. Yes, he was initially taken out due to injury, but they just haven't used him since. There you go, Mort. Thanks for the report and the pictures, and thanks for everyone tuning in and commenting. Have a great night. Tune in, Marty Jannetty, tomorrow. Find the upcoming stream, click get notification.